Well, thank you all for joining. Trisha, hi Trisha, Barbados, wonderful. We are Barbados. We got to toast to Barbados. Barbados!
Barbados!
Barbados! Oh yay, Joe in Edmonton. Hi Joe, she's on. Some fellow Canadians. Welcome to Healthy Happy Hour. We are already having our water here today in our pineapples, our pineapple infused water. So incredibly excited to have Sammy Jo Braithwaite, corporate life coach, joining me today. Thank you for the, yes, pineapple mugs, we're going on. Joining me tonight. We are so incredibly excited to just share this space and really connect that deeper purpose of all of our journeys. So we're really going to dive in tonight to self-limiting thoughts and beliefs and how we can actually overcome this self-sabotage that so many of us actually do, whether you're consciously doing it or you're unconsciously doing it, that can actually prevent you from really taking yourself to that next level. And this is huge with respect to not only just our fitness goals, but our life goals in general. So we've got a lot in store for you tonight. And we also want to welcome questions. And if you want to drop questions as we're talking, go ahead. At the end, though, we will open it up to questions. So we'll just hit the ground running. But thank you. Let's have another toast again. Cheers! Here we go. So welcome, Sammy Jo. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, Sammy Jo, actually, I used to coach it with respect to fitness, her fitness goals, and now she's jumped into this space of corporate life coaching. She's followed her bliss, which is so incredibly awesome. So thank you for being here, Sammy Jo.
No, thank you for
having me, Rael. It's really
cool that we, like you said before, it's full circle, our experiences together.
Totally full circle, and here we are teaming up because both aspects, like you said, that as a fitness coach, that I really helped you connect that mind body connection, which helped you actually take your goals, you achieve more, and you could unveil that true potential within you, and you could unlock the that mind body connection aspect and really connect on that level. So I'm so excited. So I know you have a lot in store for us. So let's get to it though. First topic, and I'm so excited to hear your thoughts on this. Why time isn't the reason you don't have the results you're looking for. So I know in the fitness space, we definitely hear a lot of like, if I only had more time, and I think, that drips into all aspects of life, right? And I always say it's making an excuse. When you want something bad enough, you are going to create the time and the space in your life that you need to jump in and crush your goals, right? And make it a priority. So tell us, Sammy Jo, your thoughts on how people that feel that way, what they can do to really help overcome that.
So one of the main things that a lot of times
we're forgetting is that time itself, we think it's always been 60 minutes to an hour, 12 hours in a day, but we're forgetting that a global standardized time didn't even exist until the end of the 1800s. So what that means is that before that, there was different understandings of time, and it's this social construct that we treat like a human. We treat it like it's something
Right.
that we can have or not have, but time is just a representation of energy. So it's what energy are you putting into? So when we say, I don't have time, it comes into the language that we're choosing is creating our reality. You can't have time. It's not this
tangible thing like my cup. You cannot own time. It does not exist.
It does not exist.
So we're personifying something that is a man-made construct. What's empowering about that is because we can change the construct,
and we can change our language. Instead of, you know what, Rael, I don't have time to do this conversation with you. What I really mean is that I'm sorry, it's
not a
Not a
priority.
priority, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we need to stop victimizing ourselves to something that is just a social construct.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is so powerful. Time is not something we can tangibly own or actually or have. It's something we create. And I think I don't know, tell me if you agree, is something that a lot of us need to actually do, and that all of us, right, is to sit and actually connect to where are we putting our time, where are we putting our energy, where are we putting our focus, because you know what you focus on becomes your reality. And obviously to achieve anything in life, we do need that time and that energy and that focus. But it seems that that excuse of coming up about never, you know, it's just, oh, if only there was 2 more hours in my day, you know, I could get it done.
Yeah, it's like we've become lazy in our language and in our understanding. We
We
don't
don't
want
want
to
to take
take radical
radical
responsibility
responsibility
for
for
self.
self.
It's easier for me to say I don't have time versus I've just done a really crappy job at even understanding what are my priorities. And if I don't know what my priorities are, I'm not necessarily investing my time, which is another concept that
Is really
is
weird
really
for
weird
a lot
for a
of
lot of
people.
people.
If we
If you
think about
with the language that we use, instead of
spending
time on
something, because spending inherently means that you're losing out on, you're giving
something but not getting. So
Right.
instead of spending
time. If I choose to invest my time,
that means I'm
aware that there's going to
aware
be a
that there's going
return
to be a
on
return on
investment,
investment.
all of a
All of
sudden
a sudden,
my
my priority
priorities shift.
shift.
Right. Wow. That's super powerful. The difference between spending and investing, like a cost, right? Even that really, that resonates. Beautiful. So, I mean, huge takeaways there, just looking at where you're investing your time and your energy in your life, and are you getting that return on investment that you want? And if not, going back to the drawing board and again looking at where you're putting your time. That's a huge, investing your time, you know, that's, I love it. I love that. Megan, Portia, they're with us, they're dropping some comments down there. I will say from you know, last year, going into my final year of competition. So I was going in for my 43rd, 44th, 42nd, 43rd, 44th, 45th professional competition. And I actually, for the first time in my life, I gave myself 5 hours of my day, 5 days a week. And then on Saturday, I gave myself 3 hours. But I actually I invested that time in myself far more than I would have ever before. And I actually restructured my business to be able to ensure that I had the time that I needed to be the best. And for many, many years, I underestimated the amount of time that it actually took to bring my best physical, mental package to the table. And that was a really valuable lesson for me with anything in life. We always seem to, well, those of us that are ambitious and crushing goals, we overexert ourselves, I feel, and you spread yourself too thin and you end up not having the time because you're not actually putting 100% into anything you're doing. You're putting that maybe 20%, really, when you look at it. It's such a huge difference if you can actually really look at what you want to achieve and how much time on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, you need to achieve your goals, and what's realistic as well. Because maybe then on the other side, if you only have, I know I see some of my team members on here, Matt in Canada, he's got his 60 minutes a day. He wants to crush. He's a busy working full time. He's a dad. So you know what, if it's 60 minutes, give that 60 minutes, right? Like everything you've got, and then create a realistic expectation based around that of also our goals.
What I love about what you just said there, Rai, when you were explaining your situation last year with competition prep, with not having enough time or feeling burnt out. So we can interchange the word time with energy. So is it time or is it energy? And that just shows us how man-made the construct of time is. It's just a representation of energy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, totally. Anyone who's watching right now with a fitness goal or chasing a big dream, whatever that is in life, that is huge. Remember, there's a lot of factors too with respect to energy. I definitely have noticed, well, we all have with age, but with fitness goals, I need more time. I need more time to recover. I need more time to rest, to make sure that I show up in the best way possible for myself every day. When I was in my 20s, you know, that 6 hours of sleep was totally fine, you know, and looking at energy and looking at what you need to bring your best to the table, to not sell yourself short on the investment of time that you're prepared to put forward. Yeah, so powerful. Cheers! 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 So big takeaways there, everyone. If you're feeling spread thin and you're feeling like you don't have enough time in your life, shift your priorities, shift your focus, look at where you think you're spending your time, and make that shift to where am I going to invest my time and my energy. Beautiful, to make sure that you win. Really, you're in the driver's seat, right?
And also honoring your yeses and nos.
Is a great way. If it's the only thing you guys take away from this video from me,
just honoring your yes and your no's, not your conditioned yes and no's, but your authentic
yeses and no's. If you do that, I promise you will not run out of time.
Wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. And also on that, no is a choice, right? Like no is, yeah, both saying yes and no, those are both actually active choices. So that's powerful too, is the things that you are saying yes to and the things that you are saying no to. That's also, right? When you're saying no to something, you're saying yes to something else. So what are your yeses? Just being clear. I know with respect to fitness coaching, that's like the first thing. And even anyone who's ever worked with me before will know that, right? When I onboard a new client, I already have a really good concept from the questions I've asked about how much time are you prepared to commit to this? How bad do you want this, right? What's a realistic and doable schedule for you? Because it's an important part of making sure that my client succeeds, right? Is that I create something that is realistic and doable with respect to the time they want to invest. So if you want to be, you know, the fittest woman in the world, but you can only commit 45 minutes a day, right? Then it's about shifting that expectation of the outcome, and making sure that, like for me, making sure that no matter what it is, my client wins, right?
Exactly.
So, no, love it. Thank you. And time isn't tangible. That was another big thing you said as well. We can't.
Yeah, like if your time as a person, like let's say that your time.
And if I'm always like, I don't
have time ran away from me.
You get tired of me always blaming you for my lack of priorities.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's jump into another, I think a really powerful topic is how the language we actually use on a daily basis has a deep impact on our sense of identity. And also to really create that takeaway on this point where how we can actually change, if the language we're using is negative self-talk, how we can actually transition into more positive self-talk, self-love, and how we can show up for ourselves in the best way and win every single day. And I will definitely say that, again, I'm gonna use my fitness journey and coming to the end of my road last year as a professional athlete and transitioning out of that. I came to a place, for those of you who are new to following me, I'm a professional fitness athlete. I finished at the top of my journey, the top of my game in the world. And I started at the bottom, the very bottom, like last place, like the little tiny peanut on stage, like, hi, look at me over here. And obviously had overcome a lot of things with respect to inner language, and the things that I chose to say to myself on a daily basis. So starting at the bottom, you're always comparing yourself to everyone else. And I think that's absolutely normal. Our sport also breeds self-criticism. So you're constantly being judged. My sport was a judged sport. So it's like affirming or defining your success based on what the judge has to say about you. And actually competing, for over a decade, like 13 years and 45 professional competitions, and coming to this place of like owning, like it's not about right now, I'm at the end of this journey and I want to own that I am enough right now. And when I step on that stage, I'm going to be bringing my best, and the best I've ever been. There was not one rep that was missed, one meal that was missed. Like every single thing I did went into this. And actually how much more rewarding it was for me to compete on that, and also how much more I was able to achieve from that place. It was reflected in my performance as well. So coming to that place with respect to inner language, this topic really hits home for me, Sammy Jo.
And you guys can tell by listening to her talk about that, her behaviors were directly impacted by the language that she was
choosing. So when you were shifting from the negative self-talk to the positive self-talk, I can guarantee, Rye, that your behaviors were
totally different. And we forget, so from a psychological standpoint, our behaviors influence our beliefs, which then influence our actual sense of identity. So as a coach, I never come in with my clients and let's change your sense of identity, because it's too inner. Our critter brain will freak out and will run away. So the easiest way for us to change our beliefs is by the language that we use. Because every time I have negative self-talk, all I'm doing is conditioning myself that what I'm saying is true. Because psychologically, we will prove ourselves right no matter what psychologically. So if I'm not making that shift, my behaviors will never change. My beliefs will never change. And those shifts sometimes, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the
fake it till you make it
phenomenon, but even if I can just tell myself one positive thing and then teach myself to trust myself in the sense that that is true, my behaviors can then actually start to shift, which then inadvertently shifts my whole sense of identity based on the things that I'm saying. And once again, we get lazy. Oh, it's time's fault. It's raining outside, so therefore I cannot go outside. It's not that I can't go outside, I'm choosing to not go outside. So if we can just be more truthful with our language, we take power back.
Yeah, on so many levels, right? Mm-hmm. On taking action, like you just said, making a choice, looking at how we speak to ourselves, right, as well. Like what you say, you believe. Like your thought, what you're speaking, you actually believe. So, I mean, amen to getting up in the morning and looking in the mirror and going, I am awesome, because you want to own that, because what you own, you're going to bring to the table. And in the same respect, I think when you don't feel so awesome and you're having an off day, again, it's owning that and still showing up in the best way that you possibly can for yourself, to put one foot in the front of the other and continue to move forward. Today's not a great day, but I'm going to make the best of it. And I'm going to show up for myself the best way I can. And tomorrow I know I'm going to be back on track, crushing my goals.
And it's that sense of language. And you guys watching this, I hope you see Rye's shift in language herself, because she's not coming at it from a standpoint of criticism,
which a lot of time, if we're used to negative self-talk, we can be like, today's a crappy day, tomorrow's going to be a crappy day, I can't get myself out of this crappy day. But if I come at the standpoint of curiosity over judgment, it's going to make that shift so much better. As soon as I just judge myself, I'm already aware of myself, then I'm going to judge myself. So it's this battle that's happening with me versus me. I can't win. We need to let go of that judgment and just be curious instead.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the strategy. There's the way to look at it. And that might, I'm assuming, I'm going to say that's not going to happen overnight, but changing the way, don't judge yourself, you know, coming at that with more of an approach of curiosity. I see someone's just dropped Heber. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I'm so sorry. Yes, when I start thinking negatively, it just spirals and it causes so many unnecessary problems. Yes, the way that you are thinking, right? Those thoughts become how you take on everything. And it is choosing that attitude to show up and win for yourself every single day. I mean, on that note as well, if you see those obstacles, right, as opportunities, if you're in that negative mindset and something, whatever, you know, you like the simple things, like you blew a tire, like, okay, this is totally slowing you down. This really sucks right now. Who cares? Is it the end of the world? Like, are you right now with what's happening in our world, that perspective, right, where you're choosing to just win, like, you know, you're seeing that obstacle as an opportunity, just, hey, roll it off your back, be the duck. That, don't let that spiral, you know, into that whole offset of like, what a horrible day, you know, what a horrible day, choosing to just like focus on everything is horrible. And then, you know, you're treating yourself and everyone around you like craptastically. So I think, no, really, really powerful. Remember, you're in the driver's seat of your life. So, so take control of it. So I think the great takeaway there, Sammy Jo, that changing sort of negative self-talk into self-love is really taking more control of owning that those things that you're saying to yourself, that language is actually your responsibility, and changing the way you approach that, your perspective, from a more curious approach to that.
Yeah, and that
the language that we use
our behaviors. I can't think, oh, I'm a healthy person, and then go do weird, unhealthy behaviors. It's not going to match. So if I'm always saying, you're so unhealthy, you're so lazy, my behaviors are going to match. It's just because that's the perception and the reality that I am creating subconsciously, which is great, because if I'm creating it, it means I can shift it.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love too putting pen to paper with that type of stuff, you know, when you're trying to make those shifts, even like the sticky notes. I mean, I'm a big fan of that, where, you know, if you're getting up and you're looking at yourself and you're judging yourself, and all you're seeing is negative, start on sticky notes, start writing down all the positives, all those things, and stick them on that mirror where you look every single day. Or stick them on the fridge where you go for your food, and you're self-sabotaging yourself with what you eat. Remind yourself and just stay connected to it there, because we absolutely do have a choice. And I read a statistic actually the other day, something like over 77% of the thoughts that we have in our heads every single day actually are on repeat. Like, we continue to think that way, those patterns, like, you know, that's a lot of, like, every single day, right? You wake up and it's just on repeat. So when you really want to make that break, that shift, and have a breakthrough, it's going to take that work, right? To shift that neurological pathway almost into another direction.
It's repetition over time, right? Same with my muscles. If I want to grow my biceps,
repetition over time. And for decades, most of us have had the repetition of negative self-talk, because in a sense, it's been taught to all of us. I'm a fan of thinking as adults, we're just hurt children in bigger bodies, unless we've done the deeper inner work. So of course we're going to have those thoughts until we start to shift it by pattern interrupting.
Yeah. No. So great. Awesome. Let's look at the deeper impact of our intentions. I love it, right? We all have intentions, and it immediately draws me to just like having those intentions, but but taking action and being actionable on our intentions. So I'll let you elaborate on that one, Sammy Jo.
So even like from the standpoint of fitness, I don't know about you, right? But I've been there when I'm at the gym and I'm literally just going through the motions. And if I just go through the motions for a long period of time, my physique, my strength, nothing really changes because my intention is not there. I'm not having that connection. I'm not focused. So immediately when I shift my intention, so when I decide here to put it out here into the physical world, it can actually become possible because once again, it's our behaviors, beliefs, and sense of identity. Yeah, how often, especially working with an awesome coach like Rye, are we actually setting intentions? When you wake up in the morning, what is your plan for the day? What is your intention? Is it just to survive? Is it to be of service? Whatever that intention you set for yourself is going to directly impact the behaviors subconsciously that you are willing to do. Yet we save intentions for on Sunday, I'll make my intention. On New Year's, I'll make my intentions. Right? But why not set intentions every hour, every moment? For example, for this call, my intention was to be present with Rye and just have an open and honest conversation. If my intention was different, you would be getting a much different SJ.
Yeah.
We need to set the intentions, or else how do we know what to do?
Yeah. Powerful. Daily affirmations, right? So you are taking action on what you intend to do, and it's powerful, and you do have to reconnect back to that to actually achieve it, you know, and to be more it's just like that again, mind body connection and being mindful of it. I love that. I mean, I'm an avid journaler, and I know my, you know, and my clients as well, right? They would get into that habit of journaling, and that first great thing to start with is, what are my intentions, or what am I affirming to myself, right? Those self promises, and holding yourself in that place and in that regard to make sure that you're showing up for this is what you affirm, you know, this is what you want to do. And it's the foundation of really achieving greatness, those stepping stones, because if you can't show up for yourself and your intentions, right, where are you going to achieve greatness?
And in regards to investing our time and honoring our yeses and nos, a little trick is when you set your intention, let's say you write it down, read it back to yourself in your head. Whose voice is it that you're hearing with that intention? Challenge you if it's anyone else other than your own, rewrite it. Because then my question is that your intention, or is it a conditioned intention? And if it's your own intrinsic intention, will have so much more power over if it's just a conditioned intention. But a lot of the times when we start with this, we will have no idea. So that's why read it back to yourself, and your intention can still be along the same lines as a conditioned intention, but just rewrite the language to be that of your own. To create that conditioning that I am the driver, not my conditioning.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's huge takeaway. Oh, we need a cheers for that. Cheers. That one resonated big time. How many times, you know, how often are you doing something that you're doing and you're like doing it for someone else or for the wrong reasons? That's beautiful. Make sure that is your voice speaking to yourself, and that, you know, this is what you want to show up for. Like, life is not a prison sentence, right? Like, no one's forcing you to do these things. So to really look at that and look at that voice, huge. Thank you. That's wonderful. I really like that. I think tying into our last topic, and I think all of this ties in really nicely, but how we do one thing is how we do all things when it comes to the big areas of life, right? So health, wealth, career, and actually connecting to something different. I certainly know the way that I have approached my athletic career has dripped into, and that wasn't just what happened when I started my journey. It was the evolution of my journey over a decade. How it really was. It's not a matter of like me thinking if I'm going to achieve something. It's just when I'm going to invest the time into myself, and I'm going to go, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to place those intentions, right? And that's how I approach absolutely all aspects of my life. Like, it's completely, my fitness journey has completely transformed the way I approach my health. I'm in control. Like, of course, there's always those things that happen, but as far as proactively, preventatively doing everything I can, every single thing I put in my body, you know, I'm a health nut, you know, I'm going to do everything I can. Same with finances, same with business, right? It's like, it's absolutely, I think it's really, really powerful that you're right. Like, absolutely everything we look at, how we do one thing, if we're failing in one area, and then it kind of just trickles into everything, everything else. So yeah.
It's nice because it shows us our shadows.
If let's say in my personal life, I'm never setting up and following through with boundaries, I can guarantee you in one of my other areas, I'm doing that same thing. And we might think, oh my gosh, that's really negative, but it's really powerful, because if I feel like I'm not succeeding in fitness, but I'm crushing it in business, then I can think, what is it, what behavior, belief, and sense of identity is allowing me to be so successful in business? I just have to take that small thing and apply it to my business, because I already know I can do that. I already have that sense of belief in myself, so therefore I can do it. It's also really nice because it shows us that we're actually not as bad, as horrible as some of our limiting beliefs might allow us to think.
Yeah.
And also it gives us the opportunity
to understand. So I'm in the area of personal development, and I work with a lot of business people. I can explain to them that they are their best investment for their business. Sure, you can have advertising and marketing, but all of that goes to crap if you go to crap. So if I can teach you to understand your boundaries, your business boundaries will therefore be better. We just need to increase our success in a behavior that we want to shift, in an area that we feel the calmest or coolest and collected towards, and then we can shift it towards the areas that are a little bit harder for us at first, because we've built up that sense of trust in self that a lot of the times we don't have.
Right. That's where, you know, hiring a coach sometimes, like, anyone who is successful in life has very likely worked with a coach, right, to help them get there, or multiple coaches. I think that's really valuable, because a coach could really help you, like the type of coaching that you do, Sammy Jo, where you're going to ask them those hard questions and pull out, right, all of those aspects of their lives and find their wins. You know, what are you doing that's creating this win with respect to your business goals, and you know, then starting to drip those behaviors and patterns into all other aspects, right, of their lives. I mean, it's just incredibly powerful. For me, that was that mindset. It was when I had a mindset shift with respect to where I was at on my fitness journey. The same mindset shift happened in all aspects of my life, and it was the most incredibly empowering experience for me, because you know, that, like I said, where I finished my journey was far from where I started it, and coming to that place of showing up in the best way possible for myself, and I am enough right now, and how then everything started to come together, and I started to actually bring my best to the table, and I started to enjoy the journey so much more. Like, I was having the time of my life. Like, you know, I get to travel around the world with Schwarzenegger, competing all over the world. I'm living my dream, meeting people all over the world, and being able to share my passion and inspire and motivate and live my fulfilled, my purpose, as well as coaching my clients. I mean, wow. And to just come to that place. And it was that big mindset shift for me, where consciously then I shifted that into all other aspects of my life and I set those bigger, scary business goals. I set those bigger, scary financial goals. Well, with my pregnancy, I can use that as an example. With my health goals, so many things, right, that come from having success, even if it's just in one area of your life, and looking at that.
And we're listening to that, Rise. So I'm kind of a weirdo, and I really love the language people use, because once again, that is everything. And it's like you then allowed yourself. That outlook was always in you, just want to allow yourself to see it. But then when you allowed yourself, it all became possible. We all have these things, but we are choosing to not allow.
Consciously making that choice. No, it's wonderful, and it's a huge part of actualizing that full potential within yourself. I mean, looking at life more as, this is a journey that has no destination. We're never finished, and you want to be the best that you can be in all of those areas, obviously, of your life, every single day. And that is a choice, right? That is ultimately a choice.
And the 5 areas of life, for a lot of people that I've worked with, it's the connection to something greater that is sometimes missing in their life, because maybe they grew up and religion was a childhood wound for them, or maybe it's the sense of religion. But connection to something greater simply means that I know that I'm just one part in a bigger collective. It's one of the best ways we can develop a sense of connection to something greater. We first must have a sense of connection to self. So if that out of the 5 areas you feel like, I don't know about that one, develop your sense of connection to self, and then see what trickles from there.
Wow. Wonderful. When it comes to purpose, Sammy Jo, where people maybe, that connection to self is lacking from them feeling like they have a lack of purpose in their life, what takeaways do you have to offer them to connect to? We all have special, unique gifts, right? And we all have that deeper purpose, that deeper calling, and they're struggling to unveil that. What would you say to that?
First, I would really ask them, sit down
and decide, what do you want? I think sometimes in coaching, there's this expectation that we give all the answers, we do all the things, but clients are actually their best resource. You know more about you than I know about you. I'm just here asking really insightful questions and pulling stuff out.
So the first way for them to understand their purpose is, what do you want your purpose to be, first of all, and then why do you want that to be your purpose? What do you feel like you're currently missing out on your life because you don't have a purpose? What would you like more of in your life?
Yes.
And then what purpose is it that will allow that moreness to come? Also, I'm a big fan of the belief that all of our purposes should have something to do with the greater collective. Knowing that someone wins, I win, and like I said, we're all just little tiny drops in the bigger ocean.
So if my purpose can be of service somehow, it's so much more impactful to all of us as humans, because we're tribal by nature.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. I think even on a simple note, I mean, really do more of what you love. What are you doing in your life right now that fills you up and makes you feel good? And continuing to do more of that, that wasn't maybe necessarily, you don't know if that's your purpose or your calling, but when I'm doing this or when I'm part of this, I feel really, really fulfilled, and I feel really happy. Because certainly, I mean, that led both of us to where we're both very passionate, purpose-filled practitioners who found a purpose through passion, that greater calling of doing like what you feel. Like for me, fitness and helping people unveil their ultimate potential that lies within them is like so, I mean, I don't have words to explain how powerful that is for me, because I went through that experience myself as well. And sure, I've studied it and all of these things, but looking at, you know, where I started on my fitness journey, like I said, at the bottom, finished at the top. And if I can do that, I can help anyone do that. And that's on all, you know, on all aspects. I love the fitness and nutrition aspect of that, because it really parallels into other aspects of our lives. When we train, we get strong, right, physically, but then look what happens, right? And I love when one of my team members says to me, oh my God, today, like, I just felt so strong. But I'm not talking about like strong, my muscle. I'm talking about like, I felt fierce, like inside. I was like, damn, like I'm on fire right now. And it's that is what I'm talking about. And fitness, I feel, is an incredible vehicle to really push through and break down those barriers and have those breakthroughs that start to trickle into other areas of life where, you know, potentially you didn't believe that you could do that. So really, no, powerful stuff.
And our purpose too, I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves. Like I must pick my purpose and it must be my purpose for the rest of my life. That's not the case. As humans, we have this really weird tendency to think I can pick one thing and it's gonna last or be there forever, but we forget everything else.
Nature has an ebb and flow. There's always life cycles to everything, and that's okay.
So if you're feeling stuck because you don't know what the purpose is going to be for you for the next 40 years, no one is asking you to find your purpose for the next 40 years.
I'm asking you to find your purpose for right now. And it can change.
Right? Yeah. So like when I was a personal trainer, I don't feel like I wasted my time when I did that, or it was unpurposeful. It was purposeful because it led me to
and if I didn't allow myself that growth and opportunity,
who knows where I would be right now. And I feel like we all have strengths. And like with you,
your strength is so empowering people with fitness and nutrition. It would really suck for the whole collective if you didn't allow yourself to express that. So we all have these gifts to share, but we will never know what they are unless we try a few things out.
Yeah. Value bomb. Boom. Thank you for dropping that. It's so huge. I mean, those of you who are watching that follow me, you'll hear me say, like, you know, or my definitely my team members, my one-on-one clients, trust in your journey, and you're always exactly where you're supposed to be, because exactly what you just said, you know, when you look back, if you weren't where you were, then you wouldn't be where you are now. So stop trying to get out of the present. Like, really actually embrace exactly where you are at that moment. And even if it is a place that you want to move fast from, what can you learn? What can you learn from this space and this place? Because it's always the obstacles that are thrown at you that are the opportunities for you to overcome, develop resilience, and really learn about yourself. You know, you're not going to experience growth and like comfort simultaneously. So I really can't stress that enough. That really, when you said that, that just really resonated with me so big. Is wherever you're at on your journey and you've got a big dream, a big goal, stop thinking about where you want to be present in that moment, own that moment, and trust in your journey that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And again, once you get to where you want to be, you're going to want that's human nature. We're never done, right? The journey is always what next then. So own it, be present in it, be thankful for it. There's nothing wrong with, not being exactly where you want to be, just learning from that, right? Learning, always be present in that moment.
We don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
We forget, I can't get to step 2 unless I complete step 1. So from step 1, how the hell do I know what step 13 is going to be? We can't know. It's how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to grind,
which is a little bit different in our society.
Yeah. Beautiful. things might change as well, right? The evolution that happens from an experience, if you're open to learning from it and actually going through it and feeling the emotions, things may evolve for you drastically. Like look at, right, well, you with the career change, right? Like, you know, where you just never know where you're going to be. But I think being present, that's one thing I would have told my younger self, I think, in my fitness journey was just to be more present and be more thankful for the moment and where I was at, because I was always chasing that bigger dream and it was never enough. It was never fulfilling enough. Even though if I was to compare myself directly to myself every single year, I was crushing it, right? I was crushing it. So I think that is so very important. Like, honor yourself in that place that you're in, and be proud of what you're doing when you show up for yourself every single day. And you know, you're not going to be there for long. You're going to be growing and changing, and whatever obstacles that are coming your way. For athletes like those of us injured, right? There's always going to be those setbacks. Expect those setbacks, prepare for those setbacks. When I have a setback, how am I going to overcome that? And really, it just puts everything in life in perspective. I think right now, the people going through COVID right now, like this whole craziness in 2020 that we're never going to forget, those of us that are managing it, it's been hard for everyone, you know, me included. I mean, it's very, very challenging time for everybody. But those of us that have the resilience, or are allowing ourselves to develop those skills, right? I will get through this. This is not our norm. This is not the new norm. This is not the norm. You know, I'm going to overcome this. So it's powerful stuff when you actually start to own it as well.
And it's a beautiful lesson. I think when COVID started, I made a lot of my clients a little bit angry, because I always tell them my job is not to be your friend. My job is to hold you accountable to your highest self. So if I sit and complain about COVID this, COVID that, and now I have no control, fun fact, none of us ever had control before, but now we're really just shown the lack of control we have, versus before we believed in an illusion.
Yeah.
Why else has control over us? Absolutely nothing else.
Yeah.
We live lives like we have control over so much, which causes unnecessary stress and anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. I think that brings this to the forefront too, right? The only thing in life you can control are your thoughts and yourself, ultimately, every single day. And if you're taking on other things, it puts that in perspective really, really, really quickly. So, no, huge thank you, Sammy Jo. So good. I mean, everything that's standing out to me that really resonates is really being in control, right, of our own lives and our own destinies. And it is up to us ultimately. You know, we have that choice how we see things every single day.
Stop blaming time, because it's not a thing.
Stop blaming time. We all have enough time. It's where you want to invest it. Invest it. I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
No, thank you. Thank you. Does anyone that's watching live have anything they wanna ask? I know we had a few whoops and people that things were resonating with. Before we sign off here, we can take some questions. If anybody has, please drop them below. But I hope for everybody this was valuable and added a lot of just fresh thoughts, really fresh thoughts, fresh ways to think about things. It's all about solutions, right? I mean, everything in life is figure outable, and it's how we choose to own that when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night. There's always a solution and an outcome that we can control. We can control ourselves. So no, thank you so much, Sammy Jo, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So much, really, really great to connect. And I hope everyone loved this. Sammy Jo, how can they connect with you? What's the best way to find you?
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram at Lifestyle Rising, or you can just head over to my website
for emails. So it's simple. It's lifestylerising.com.
Awesome. Lifestyle Rising. If you, we all need a little more Sammy Jo in our lives. So, no, so thank you. And everyone that's watching too, I wanted to just mention my retreats will be kicking off again. November 2020, I have my athlete retreat. I know Megan's watching right now. Yay, you're welcome, Megan. She's coming out for that. So this is fit for fitness athletes. And in February 2021, I will start to actually reactivate regular retreat schedules. So just stay in tune and stay in touch. If you want to come out and work with me in a small, intimate setting and take your, not just your fitness goals, but take your life to the next level. Some Lux locations. Cancun is 2021, and February, I'm going to be heading back out to Jordan. We had to cancel that event in Amman, but that is going to be back on. An incredible experience out there. And also Bali. So stay tuned for those locations, Lux locations, dropping really soon. And thank you to everyone for signing in tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
Pina coladas. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.